Alright, let us continue our Pillars of Eternity playthrough. Uh, I'm gonna... next course of action before we go to White March DLC 2, which we have the quest for, is to try and clean up this sleeping sword quest. A bunch of riddles. Here, let me show. Show instead of tell. The Grey Sleeper. Find a whirling agent of copper, adder, and stone. We got this during DLC 1, and no place in DLC 1, the White March DLC 1, had this. So the only thing I can think is it's one of the places we already been, so we're gonna go to any place I remember seeing address, starting from the beginning, and hope we hit on something. And we're going to take this party because this is all the level 15s. I want to take... Once I hit level 16, I'm going to work on starting to maximize gear for my group, as well as finalize what group I want to take with me. A good combination of ranged and melee. But one person I do have to take is her, because I still have a quest for her. Everybody else's side quests are done. So we're going to hope that figuring out this Grey Sleeper quest gives enough experience to level my level 15 guys to 16 like the rest of my guys. Settle down, Kara Kitty. Okay? Good kitty. So first place we're going to go is the first place we woke up at, essentially.
Not as beautiful as the Anguithian
that
ruin.
I can think of that has Adra in it. Which would be Silant Lease. There's an address, one of those Adra... The thing that kicked off the whole thing is the Adra Anguithian ruin. Basically the things that are causing the Hollowborn. So we're going to check that out first. That's also where the only known Biowack I've encountered. And a Biowack is like a swirling sandstorm of magic and Adra and all that jazz. So maybe that's it. We'll check it out. Okay. Relax, Kira. Just lay down, huh? See? That was the, this was where the Biowack hit us. Oh, I don't have the guy with the sword with us. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna have to drop one of these level 15 guys off then. I have to go get, go back to the stronghold. Oops. You know what? I should just reload the game. That would have saved a little bit of time. It doesn't matter now, though. I already went back.
Amazing. You could fit a whole village in here.
16, 16, 16, 16, 16. 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. I wish I could drop my own character.
May Wal watch your step.
Yeah.
I wish I'd never stuck this two-hand sword on him either. Hopefully, once we do the quest, it frees it up and I can move it to somebody better, like my main character who uses two-hand swords. I may not be able to, I don't know.
Sure.
Oh, hey, this wasn't clickable before. The Estoc seems to hum as it nears the Anguithian machine. Something arcs between the steel blade and the Adra core of the ancient device. The voices in the Estoc grow quieter, and the weapon feels more powerful. A new rider appears along the blade. So it is taking place in the old world, then. Decipher the second verse of the poem. Seek the whirling agent made of copper outer stone. Find the sun-kissed hillocks where the dead folk sleep. Rest beside their wasting flesh. Inspect what dreams you reap. Sun-kissed hillocks.
Huh?
So we're looking for a hilly territory. Valewood. If it's hillocks, that can only be a hilly area. We'll know pretty soon from looking at the map once we're there if that's going to be the area. Not really hilly. More foresty. Magred's Fork. Not really hilly either, but there's an Adra formation. Let's go check it out. Just to be safe. Okay, nothing here. It's not overly hilly. Black Meadow's not going to be sunny, I wouldn't think. Esternwood, let's check that out. It's a little hilly with this hill up here. It's definitely sunny. Let's just check it out. We're not losing anything by exploring. Doesn't take that long. It's definitely sun-kissed. There's a lot of sun in this zone. Okay, let's check the hill. dang nose keeps getting itchy. Sorry. Okay. Not here. Is there any other points of interest? Could be Pearlwood Bluff. Let's try Pearlwood Bluff.
Following your lead.
A bluff is kind of hilly. Could also be Stormwall Gorge. Send Escort. Send Herivase. Maybe that'll give him enough experience to get to 16. This is definitely could constitute a hill. It's
Sure.
definitely sun-kissed. So let's just explore. Okay, not here. Heritage Hill, perhaps? Has hill right in the name. Let's try that. We're grasping at straws here, because it's not... I mean, it's not like the puzzle or the hint is decent, but we know it's old world stuff. At least going on the first hint. Find the sun-kissed hillocks where the dead folk sleep. Rest beside their wasting flesh. Inspect what dreams you reap. Oh, I have to sleep. Dead folks sleep in a grave. It is Esternwood, damn it. There was a grave there, I just didn't read the clue close enough. You have to sleep. I feel like an idiot. If I just read more carefully. Hands are all wet from the water bottle condensation now. Hireling payday. In the interest of full disclosure, I did log in off stream and clear out my inventory stash of common weapons. So, like, you see, I kept all the magic on up, but all the common weapons are gone. I had like 18 pages worth, and it was slowing down my inventory to a crawl. So, I did do that off stream because it was just boring inventory management. I sold it all to a vendor. Okay, let's go ahead and sleep. The loamy soil squishes underfoot, and something invisible seems to rise from it. You detect essence, faint and barely perceptible, drifting up from the graveyard. The gray sleeper seems to feed on it, and the strange voice grows quieter still. Another verse gleams in the steel. Final verse. Fingers of the world, address strong and whole. Kneel before the pillars, bring order to your soul. Well, fingers, we know where that is. That's in our stronghold. The Glanfathan astronomers who predicted the Lover's Tide that destroyed Andra's gift took many of their instruments and notes and hid them out of fear that they might be captured by the Adrins. Decades after the war, the tribes recovered the astronomers' work. Unfortunately, all of the original astronomers had died, and much of their writing was penned in an unknown cipher. 2 valiant dukes have offered a reward for anyone who can help crack the cipher for the Glenfathans. The tribes are reluctant to let anyone look at the notes, but believe it would be better to share the knowledge than let it remain a secret. Okay, we got him leveled up. Athletics. Stealth. Let's see. Let's do unstoppable. Blinded, stuck, prone, hobbled, dazed attacks. Because that seems to be a lot of fights anymore. So we got him leveled up. Now let's head to our stronghold.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Who was nearly set upon? A 0 prestigious visitor. Let's go see what he wants after looking at the fingers of Adra. Oh, there we are. A deep and mighty power emanates from the Adra pillars. It resonates in the Grey Sleeper. Kneel. As you kneel, the voices in the Grey Sleeper reach a low, peaceful harmony. The final surge of energy fills the blade, and the voices fall silent. You feel the curse snap like rotten cord. Alright, Kana leveled up. Animated weapons. Let's do the animated weapons. I like the summons from the Bard. Actually, let's charm, terrified, frightened, dominated, confused, paralyzed, weakened, stunned, sickened, petrified, or unstoppable. Let's do a body control. Now it said that we're still bound to Durance. Dang it. It's a good weapon, but it's a shame because Durance doesn't typically use those types of weapon. But he's also not tailored to one specific enemy type either. I guess we'll let him use it then, since we have no choice. I screwed that up. I should have had my guy do it. I didn't think it would make a difference when he pulled the sword from the stone. Let's see what that prestigious visitor wants. If he wants anything at all.
I trust all is well.
Okay, I also want to transfer this stuff to the stash on each character so that this is the easiest way to get everything stacked, in my opinion. just transfer everything to stash and then pull what you want out of the stash.
See you when I see you.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine. You can trust me. You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
So right now everybody is level 16. Except for Hiraves, who's working on it.
Yeah.
Right here.
Farewell.
Very well.
Okay, so for the final party, definitely him.
Indeed.
And her. Neater priest. Okay, so
See you when I see you.
Farewell.
definitely her. Neater priest.
You can trust
Neater
me.
tank.
Hey.
There he is. So what two other characters do we need? Melee, 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 melee. We need two ranged.
I shall.
Probably these two.
Hey. Hey.
What?
Okay, so let's make sure we have the best weapons equipped for everybody. Hey, Dakon, how you doing, man? So we're gonna sort by weapon types so we can find our great swords. Oh, I hate when the sorting is done because it's so slow once it's sorted. Okay, we're looking for great swords. That's an S stock. This is a great sword. Okay, so that's all for great swords. Now he uses, let's see what his, I prefer using one-hand style swords, so saber or sword or Morning Star. Saber, sword, Morning Star, battle axe. Okay. Saber, sword, Morningstar, battle axe. It's a hatchet. That's a Morningstar. Oh, not him. Him. It's rapier. Saber. Just going through and making sure I have the best weapons equipped on my characters. Sword. Okay, so... Okay, she is focused on battle axe, sword, Morningstar, crossbow. Basically the same as Eder. So she would be the same weapons he's using. Okay. He's focused on hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow, unarmed. Hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow, unarmed. But he's got stuck using this two-hand sword at the moment, too. Quarterstaff. Okay, so quarterstaff, spear, hatchet. I don't think mace was one of his options. I think it was Morningstar. Okay, so let's see what he's tailored for. It's not specified. He has nothing that makes one better than the other, but I think I typically use scepters with him. He probably already has the best scepter, but let's take a look. Because that's a scepter that grows with him, but it's also one of the early on weapons, so let's just take a look. Scepters. Definitely want to keep using ranged with him, though. I don't want him up in the melee group. Is rod a melee weapon? I think it is. Yeah, it is. So we're looking for scepters. Or wands. And she is tailored to bows, but is it a specific type of bow? It doesn't look that way. So bows or guns? so laggy when it's sorted. That's all the bows and guns, I believe. All the best ones, anyways. Okay. So. Oh, she doesn't have a belt. I know I have a belt that she can use. Yeah. Okay, so Spellbind of Constitution. Okay, so obviously of Constitution. Okay, so let's look at what's better. 20, 28, 22, 31, 25% chance to cast Destroy Vessels, which is a damage hit. Exceptional. Okay, so his is still better, so that answers that question. Purgatory. I still like Purgatory better than that one. Better than that one. Better than that one. I'll stick to that. Yeah, but better than that too. Oh, that's a two-handed weapon. He's not going to use two-handed weapons, nor is she. Okay, so now let's look at her. Better. She was a late game addition, so I think she's got some of the better weapons already. Wait. This one's interesting. It's the same damage as the battle axe. It's got the same crit damage multiplier, but it has 20% of grazes converted to hits, rather than a 10% chance to cast Nature's Mark on hit or critical hit. It's a more offensive weapon. I actually think we're going to go with that over the battle axe. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now for him, I need to remember he does have weapon focus, which is 6 accuracy of a quarterstaff. So let's see. I wish he didn't get stuck with that. Damn it, I screwed that up. No. Also no. This one's interesting. That is probably going to be the main option. I actually think I am going to use that. Oh. Well, my Wizard, Druid, and Monk aren't going to use that, so that's actually not an option. Let me get that 1 quarterstaff back. Well, hold on. Let me look at something. See, when it's not sorted, it just moves so much quicker. I mean, with all the percent chances, I think I have to use that sword, even over the quarterstaff. It was either one of these two for him. It's the same damage. The reach on the weapon is longer, though. I think even though he's not tailor-made for two-hand swords, I still got to go with that because that weapon's so good. Okay. He uses this scepter. This is the only other alternative. Damage is a little better. Crits can inflict prone. Okay, so definitely better in this scepter. That wand is pretty weak. This is comparable damage. Let's see. 10 accuracy granted to an ally attacking the same target. Grants cold jolting touch on crit. I still think we have to go with that one though. It looks like he's already using the best weapon for him. Okay. She's using a really good crossbow, but let's look at this. Stormcaller. Damage is a lot lower, but it's also a lot faster. And this one will grow with her. Let's go ahead and use this. Okay. Usually the weapons that grow with you are essentially some of the best. Which is why out of this particular group, 4 of them are using weapons that grow with you.
Huh?
Okay, so isn't there one of them still level 15? Aloth. And Sagani. What about anybody that's still here? Hervase, who's out on a quest. Okay. Sorry about the delay while I handled weapon stuff. So let's see. Got some endgame quests in the normal world still. Got some side quests from White March DLC Part 1.
I must say, I'm impressed.
So I guess we're heading back to Stalwart.
Yeah.
We'll rest before we go, though.
Tell me.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, standard is fine. Hi, puppy. No, dang it. Jealous cat. Hervase finished escorting Supplicant and returns to the stronghold. Of course he does now that I've left. Oh, we'll go check him out later. Okay. Uh-oh, something's
While we
going on.
wait, the enemy grows stronger.
And you'd send more of us to die.
Well, I'm not gonna stand around. Are you?
You've done plenty, Darian.
You approach the source of the commotion and see a throng of villagers. They're arguing among themselves and hurling questions and demands at a lone figure perched above them. A young man stands on a spur of rock, his clenched fist held aloft. Steam rises from his wild hair and flushed face as he shouts to the gathering.
Been a week since our people left these gates. A week since the Iron Flail took them.
He paces the outcropping, his eyes burning. You see a few scattered nods in the crowd.
Yet we wait here behind our sturdy new walls, hiding in our rebuilt homes. We've done nothing.
He brings his fist into his palm with a sharp smack. The crowd erupts, bristling with pointed fingers and pointed words. One woman steps forward, her eyes lock on the young man.
Who are you to tell us how to defend our own? You ain't been here 2 months!
Several of the others grunt and hoot. You feel a shift in the crowd like a changing tide.
hey, an angry mob. See? We're not so far from home.
And since I got here, I've been working alongside the rest of you. Don't start with that again.
A handful of others nod along with him, but they cringe and flinch as another villager joins the fray, shaking his finger at the young orator.
Well, it was your idea to send our people to that damned fort in the first place. If it weren't for you and the other leeches that come up with you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
The new accuser raises a chorus of furious cries. Darian raises his hands for calm, but the crowd's wrath is snowballing. Stop, everyone. A dozen heads turn in your direction. The villagers recognize you, and their eyes widen with hope and reverence. What's this about?
A bunch of greedy foreigners who want what's ours.
Another cry goes up, but it's quieter and more uncertain. Darian quickly jumps in. Now, hold on 1 second.
It's a small army from Raid Saris. They call themselves the Iron Flail.
At Darian's mention of the name, the rest of the crowd falls silent. The words trigger a sudden flashback to your dream of the mysterious army and the destruction of Caed Nua. As the image fades, you see once more the vision of 100 eyes watching you and something just beyond.
Showed up a few weeks after you opened the battery. Demanded we give him the White Forge.
He avoids your gaze, scraping his boot against a rock.
They're led by Adarik Sendamir. Comes from an old Rayed Saren family. Rumor has it the man's half mad with visions. Claims one drove him here to take the White Forge.
They're not the only bloodsuckers around here.
The villager glares up at Darian, but most of his fellows are ignoring him by now. Darian raises his voice above the ruckus.
Our crew at the battery locked their doors and told the Iron Flail to go back to Rayed Saris. Instead, they built a fort in the middle of the wood. So we sent a committee to reason with them. But that was a week ago. We haven't seen our people since.
A low rumble ripples through the crowd. Darian hesitates.
That can only mean one thing.
He grimaces as the frightened, arguing crowd drowns him out once more. Can't you share the White Forge with the Red Sarens? The villagers shout and squawk louder than ever.
After what they did to our neighbors?
Only thing they know how to do is start wars.
Please, everyone!
In the fragile silence that follows, the others turn and look at Darian.
Whatever our difference is, we've got to deal with the army at our gates.
He looks back at you.
You've done a lot for Stalwart already. Many of us wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you.
He breaks off, looking as if he'd like to stuff his words back into his mouth. After an uneasy pause, he swallows and continues.
What I mean is, if anyone could deal with an army, it's you.
Just show me where the fort is.
The Iron Flail cleared a patch of forest north of Durgan's battery, built their fort there. It'll be well guarded, so if you can get in without raising an alarm, you may have an easier time of it. The important thing is to deal with the commander. If you can get rid of him, the rest of the soldiers will scatter.
I think I've dreamed about this army.
What exactly did you see?
He watches you with wide, wondering eyes. A murmur ripples through the crowd. The dream was unclear.
Of course. We're just thankful this dream led you back. Anyway, we've got our work cut out for us here.
He gives the crowd a purposeful look. Grumbling, they start to disperse.
While you're out, stop by the battery. Wangra and her team are still repairing the heavy cannons. They've made a lot of progress elsewhere. Thought you might like to see how far it's come.
He shrugs. I wanted to ask you about something.
Haven't been here long, but I'll tell you what I can.
Tell me about the Iron Flail.
They heard about the White Forge and came running. Just like a lot of us did. Only difference is, they brought siege weapons. As best anyone can tell, they're from the border region near Little Bend, one of the poorest parts of the country. For Rayed Saris, well, that's saying something.
What brought you to Stalwart?
Work. I was a cobbler in New Yarma, but the city got more crowded every year. Rural types fleeing the legacy. A couple months ago, I heard Stalwart was offering land and opportunity to new settlers, so figured I'd give it a go out here. For a while, folks seemed glad to have some new blood, but that changed as more and more of us came.
Seems to be a lot of tension around town.
Before you opened Durgan's battery, people tell me Stalwart barely had enough warm bodies to keep the town running. A bunch of us came when we heard about the White Forge, but now, I think the old-timers would just as soon send us back.
He begins ticking items off of his fingers.
We take the best jobs, we don't pay our respects to Andra, we're overcrowding the town.
He shakes his head.
I get it. Stalwart's changing. Same thing happened in New Yarma when folk moved in from the countryside. But they can't keep blaming us for everything that goes wrong out here.
He sighs, and a streaming cloud escapes his lips.
I'm just hoping they'll calm down once the Iron Flail is gone.
That's all.
Yeah.
Are any of these characters still level 15? Yeah, okay, they are. Is it true? I saw the lights from the battery. Did you really open it? The Orlan clasps his hands in wonder. I can't believe it. I was sure I'd never make this route again, but who knows what rarities will come from those halls, Such an exciting time. Let's see what he has for sale. Doesn't look like anything of overt interest.
Huh?
Okay, let's start up here first. Okay, so I could go in the mine there, which I never could before. There's Whitestone Hollow, Iron Flail Fort, and Durgan's Battery. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm at 3 of 4. I don't need a camping supply right yet. I also left some camping supplies that I couldn't loot littered around the White March DLC one, so push comes to shove, I could always grab one from one of those areas. I just don't need it. I don't need to have them maxed quite yet. Run for mayor, they said. It's an easy job, they said. I should have stayed in the mines. He notices you approach and his eyes widen. Pons Eric, what brings you back to Stalwart? You're always welcome here. He beams at you. What was that about a negotiation? There's a group of merchants from Defiance Bay interested in a trade agreement with Stalwart. Their representative, Nesta, is staying at the Gref's Rest. I've been avoiding her because I have zero experience with treaties and contracts and all that. I was a miner, not a diplomat. Maybe you could talk to her on my behalf. He looks at you hopefully. As mayor, I'll give you full authority to negotiate on Stalwart's behalf. What makes you think I'd do any better than you in a negotiation? You're the hero of Stalwart, the man who reclaimed the White Forge. Of course you'd do better than me. I'll go talk to Nesta then. Thank you. As I said earlier, you can find her in the Gref's Rest. I'm pretty busy, so unless there's something else. How's Stalwart doing these days? We've rebuilt. The Western Palisade is fixed, and some fancy merchants set up shop where Katie's house used to be. He gestures at the temple. We've also got a proper temple to Abaddon again. Never understood why the Andrites stuck around Stalwart in the first place. Farewell.
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
Oh yeah, this place has definitely changed. Smooth anvil hardly looks like it's seen use.
Oh, come on! Stupid sword!
Okay, now you're just pissing me off. She slams her forge hammer down the unfinished blade with a loud clank. Straighten out, damn you! Temper, Masca. The older priest glares at Masca reproachfully. Sorry, master. Just slipped out. She takes a deep breath and releases it slowly. What's wrong with the sword? Where to begin? She gestures at the rapidly cooling lump of iron on her anvil. For one, I can't manage to shape the metal no matter how hard I try. Master Ingram says, envision a sword, so I'm envisioning really, really hard. I think I'm ending up with a club. Maybe a mace if I'm lucky, but no sword. If my work doesn't improve soon, they'll kick me out of the temple. Can't be a priest if you're not a proper smith. Unless you help me, Miss Masca glances around. I'm not a blacksmith. Oh, that's not the kind of help I'm asking for. I snuck a peek at Master Ingram's lore books and came across a ritual that can enchant a forge hammer to boost smithing skill. That's exactly the kind of edge I need. I've already completed the first part of the ritual, crafting the hammer. Unfortunately, the next 2 parts requires travel to the Deerwood, and there's no way Master Ingram will let me leave anytime soon. Isn't crafting using a magical forge hammer unethical? I'm not trying to show anyone up, I just want to appear competent. You know, buy myself time until I'm actually competent. I'd better get back to it before Master Ingram gets annoyed with me. Why did you decide to become an acolyte of Abaddon? It's a family tradition, one I've managed to keep going. She glares at the unfinished sword on her anvil. Barely. I'll complete the forge hammer ritual for you. That's great, she hands you a forge hammer. The hammer actually turned out alright. First place you'll need to go is the Shrine of Abaddon in Crucible Keep. That's in the First Fires District in Defiance Bay. I've never been there myself. Just place the hammer at the shrine, should get blessed. Or something. After that, you'll need to find the Shrine of Magrin in Magrin's Fork. It's not far from Defiance Bay. To the north of the city, I think. Do the same thing with the hammer at that shrine, then head back here. I know where all those places are. It's not saying it's stealing. They didn't think it's stealing either. Good. This shrine to Abaddon is smooth and shiny as if it were made recently. Ingram nods at you and smiles in recognition. Ah, the Kindler of the White Forge. We owe you a great debt for the industry and faith you've restored here. Welcome to the Temple of Abaddon. This used to be a temple to Andra. He tilts his head to one side, back when this was a dying, forgotten place. But the clerics who tended it left, as is customary with their goddess. The throngs who have since come to Stalwart sought a more practical deity. What do you do here? I lead this temple and guide the acolytes in matters both spiritual and mundane. He indicates the forge and anvils. Worshippers of other gods pray or meditate. We Abaddonians venerate our god through the act of smithing. Our doors are always open, our forge always light. How may I help? Farewell. I kind of want to save my game and see what he says if I write out The Apprentice. Masca has asked me to enchant her forge hammer to enhance her smithing skills. If such a thing were possible, as Masca obviously believes, I'd be interested in seeing how things turn out. You don't seem concerned. Because I am not. He smiles slightly. Okay, I was just curious. Yeah. Didn't want to fail the quest because I ratted her out, so saved first. Okay, let's go into the fishery. Check out what's there. Oh, it's you. Is it true you really saw the White Forge? Nod, stoic. see what you have. Let's talk to Grind. You've done a fine thing reaching the White Forge like you did. Lost another of my fishermen just yesterday, but perhaps folk will stop giving up on this place now. Now let's read his soul. As you reach for Grind's essence, you find yourself wrapped in the cold embrace of a snowstorm. You trudge through the snow, each step laborious to your numb feet. You keep your head down against the wind, and your back is bent under a heavy burden. Ahead of you is the frozen lake and the hole you made in it. Your feet crunch over the ice. You wait and secretly hope for the telltale crack beneath you. With the village distant and dark behind you, you would sink and none would know. At least that would free you of the heavy, churning feeling in your gut. Yet you reach the hole and the ice is still steady under you. You have the burden off of your shoulders, cradling her in your arms. She's wrapped in nets and weighted with stones. You wish one of the priests of Andra was here with solemn words and the assurance of ceremony. Instead, you slip a bracelet off of her wrist. Andra will have her body, and you will carry this reminder. You slide the bundle into the water and watch it sink. As it dwindles to nothing more in a dark stain beneath the ice, you feel a scratch in your throat and hear the wind moaning into your ear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You surface from the vision. Whatever it is has none to do with Durgan's battery. Got questions about the fishery.
Been running it 4 decades now. Reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
I hear your sister was once in charge here.
Arda was a saint. Lived to look after the village, she did. Fell through a weak spot in the lake ice.
Some of this is out of order because I already solved the sister Grind quest. But I must have not talked to him and had this conversation, which is why it was lit up. So this is before I knew he accidentally killed his sister. His gaze grows distant and he scratches at his salt and pepper beard.
You'll pardon me, but it's not something I much care to dwell on. Need anything else?
Nah, I'm good. Damn you, Windows. Oh, it actually sent it away. Usually it leaves it up there for whatever reason whenever I'm playing a game. If Windows pops something up, it just leaves it in the corner. But at least it got rid of it this time.
Blazes. What am I to do with all of these?
A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow. And who are these people? Magrants faithful? Great, another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. She glances up at you. Oh, sorry, Ponzeric. Just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down some with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or work for those interested. Just saying. You mentioned blights? The terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster, that. A great big heap of snow, right on top of one of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back the thing's head, but word is the terror's last victim was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figure it's something in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch and I'll take it as proof you handled the blight. Sound fair? Okay, so she's the bounty master for DLC 2. Got it. Bandits and horse thieves, as far as I could tell, led by a woman named Rodwith. Problem is their little group keeps growing and they've started tearing through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Searing Falls, and rumor is they're heading in our direction. Stalwart's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Rodwith's head and I'll see you a little richer for her. Yep, 2 new bounties, okay. Hammond's Emporium. Ah, new shop.
Would I interest you in a new blade?
Not stealing, just looking. You could see your own reflection in these shields. This looks like the stalwart from the road to Deerwood. The shopkeeper's clothes seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm, compared to what you've seen around Stalwart. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've barely been touched by the mountain winds. Welcome, welcome. I've gotten arms and armor, all top quality. Or perhaps you'd like to see potions. Stalwart +3. Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here. You want to be petted, so I'm petting you. Show me what you have for sale. Ooh, soulbound crossbow. Rogue, Ranger, Cipher. Unique heavy armor. +3 resolve helm. A lot of helms. Let's see. Let's see what their helm situation is. Actually, we're gonna use that on him instead. Actually, this may be good for him because if he gets stunned or knocked down, he's kind of screwed. So let's actually equip that on endurance. Immunity to confused, that's not bad. Let's give her the resolve helmet instead of the eye patch. Unique heavy armor. The only one of these bunch that uses heavy armor, I think, is the tank. Everybody else uses light. He uses medium. Yeah, not as good. Okay. Now the question is, I have two weapons that are bind on soul. I'm thinking I'll stick with the bow for her and save the crossbow for one, either for the Cipher, who the grieving mother uses a ranged weapon. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay. Oh, the kitty and the puppy are in the same bed laying together. How cute.
Sure.
Mila, where have you got to this time?
This woman looks at you like she's used to hearing bad news. She shakes her head and holds up her hands before you could even begin. Look, you could tell Hammond that I ain't seen Milo all day, and besides, he ought to keep a better eye on his shop if he doesn't want little uns poking around. She folds her arms and plants her feet wide. What's this about? She blinks and is suddenly embarrassed. Oh, you're the one who opened up the battery, aren't you? It's really nothing someone like you needs to be concerned with. She hesitates before deciding to continue. Actually, it's my girl, Mila. Been getting herself into all sorts of trouble, poking around that Hammond's Emporium. She rolls her eyes, but bites her lower lip nervously a moment later. But you ain't hear about her, huh? You don't know where your own child is? She backs away like she's been slapped. I didn't say that. Unable to look at you in the eyes, her gaze darts to the ground, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. It's hard to keep track of her, what with all the commotion around here lately. Do you have any idea where Mila might be? It's Mila, not Mila. She's been out for quite a while now. That's nothing new. She chews her lip, wondering. Still, I can't help but worry that she's gone and gotten herself into some trouble. If you can keep an eye or two open for her while you're in town, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll make sure she's not in any trouble. Oh, thank you. Everyone is so busy these days with the mines and the forge opening back up again. It's kind of you to help. I have a few questions for you. Show her the drawing. Do you recognize this place? She squints at it. Mountains and a cave. A lot of those in these parts. She squints. Those lines there could be stand-in stones like the ones at Whitestone Hollow. Huh, I didn't know. I don't know why she would go off there. Is there someplace Mila likes to run off to? She often takes off to Hammond's Emporium. Has a problem with looking at things instead of touching them. Hammond's been on my back the past few days to keep her away. Might her father know where she's gone? Please don't worry him. He's in enough trouble at his job already. She smiles weakly. Truly, all of us appreciate what you did opening the battery back up. Folks like my Lodgar are making good money patching up all the damage out front. Please don't set his mind spinning about where Mila is. My natural inclination is do the honest response, but my character leans stoic and rational, so I'll just say stoic. She watches you for some reaction, then pauses awkwardly at your silence, chewing her lip and idly tapping her boot against a small chunk of ice. Leave.
The Iron Flail has folk up in...
Welcome. Have a seat by the fire if the cold's gotten into your bones.
Rita's soul. Their soul's a vibrant, stolid thing, and as you reach out for it with your senses, you see your breath begin to fog in the air. You find yourself far above the ground, wedged into the juncture of two branches. The moonlight is bright upon the snow, and in the distance your quarry steps out onto the ice as if onto an illuminated stage. You still your breath and draw back your arrow. Warmth fleets back into your limbs. Frosted snow giving way to the smokier interior of Thrisk's home.
Welcome. That's coming to your elders for advice, is it? What can I do for you?
Teldor said I should talk to you before I head to Longwatch Falls. A good thing you did. Hot Springs north of the road are crawling with Lagafeth. I'm surprised Teldor found himself out there. The thing to know about Lagafeth is they're fast. Tolerant to cold too, so try another angle of attack. Something seems to occur to him. He pats his pockets, clenches his pipe between his teeth. These will come in handy. Use them if you get into trouble. He hands you a few sealed bottles. The old hunter looks you up and down, puffing on his pipe. But if I'm being honest, you may not even need them. You handled those ogres well enough, and you look like you could hold your own against those Lagafeth, too. Taps his pipe into the fire pit. Why is it highlighted again? I just did that. Just taking a look, old man, not stealing. Promise. Just rummaging through your things. I'm sure that's much more socially acceptable.
Sure.
You really did it! I mean, people have always come through here, talking about opening the battery, claiming the White Forge, all that. But I didn't think anyone would ever really manage it. I told Renegild I'd be willing to help with getting the mines back in order. You know, do my part. Figure we can turn this place around, now that you've laid the foundation.
Okay, not going to the inn just yet. He was the bounty guy for DLC 1.
I'll see what I can do.
Slow and silent.
If it isn't the hero of the White Forge, Renegold nods in greeting. She looks more relaxed than you've ever seen her. You come back to check on your handiwork, or are you just here to wish me a happy retirement? Why did you retire? She stretches. I've had enough of politics and town quarrels for this lifetime. So when Tarfos told me he was tired of the mines, I asked if he was ready to really get his hands dirty. Almost feel sorry for the guy. What happened to her son that used to be there, I wonder? Ah, here's a campfire I left lying around. I did remember that one vaguely. I know I left a bunch in Durgan's battery as well. Let's go see what those mines look like. Scattered spots of yellow powder blotch the surface of the barrels. The stench of sulfur lingers in the air. Let's just check out what the mines are about. I don't think I have any particular quests for there. Maybe I do. I don't know. We'll just explore.
I'll see what's ahead.
No, please! You've got the wrong man! I don't remember any of this!
Quiet! We'll get the truth out of you soon enough. Take him away!
A stern-faced woman approaches you. Her already impressive frown is only emphasized by her slight underbite. She folds her arms. Be careful where you wander. These mines are still crawling with all sorts of pests. We haven't been able to clear them out yet. Of course, you have experience with that sort of thing, I hear. Guess we have you to thank for opening the battery. I'm Ismay, the foreman. We've been keeping busy around here since the battery's fires were lit. A little busier than I'd like sometimes. What's going on here? Things are hard enough around here with the local wildlife. Last thing we needed to deal with was a murder of all things. Tell me about this murder. You probably saw Gamble getting carted off. Found him by the body of another miner, Samuth. We've lost quite a few miners recently. Most just vanished. Samuth's the first corpse to stick around. We may have caught Gamble, but we haven't been able to find the bodies. You know, if anyone could help us put all this to rest, it's you. I'd like to be able to give these miners' families some answers, even if it's bad news. Tell me about Gamble. Don't know him so well. Certainly never pegged him for a killer. I'd say you're better off questioning him yourself. See if he'll tell you where he stashed the corpses. What do you know about the victim, Samuth? Poor Samuth. His body's up the tunnel to the east. Folks say you've got a knack for making sense of corpses, like the downward row sorts, right? I'll look into it. I appreciate the help. We certainly need it. I have a few questions for you. Sure thing. What do you want to know? Why are these mines so important? The demand for ore's gone up since you opened up the battery. Everyone wants their own shiny piece of Durgan steel. Thing is, the battery was hit pretty hard by the tremors. With the battery mines collapsed, we're the only game in town. How are the mines holding up? The beasts aren't going away anytime soon. Now that Gamble's gone and killed somebody, folks are probably starting to think we should just abandon these tunnels again. About those missing miners. Did you find out anything? Tell me about Gamble. Already did all that. Alright, leave. I think I'm gonna save it there and call it a stream. I'm just not feeling very good, and I'm just tired. I'm gonna rest for a while. Y'all take it easy. Thank you for watching. I will I may stream more later today, but for now I'm gonna call it. If I don't stream later today, I'll be back on my regular schedule tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time after I get home from work. Alright, take it easy. See ya. Bye.